Megan, I'm just going to kick it to you because, again, this is an all-time high situation. So in order to really to make this logically make sense, you have to be saying our company's doing better now or is about to be doing better in the near future than it ever has before. Is that what your data suggests?
Yeah, this is kind of why we wanted to bring TJ Maxx to you guys and talk about it today, because what we've been doing over this last week is really diving into names surrounding holiday shopping to understand, okay, how are consumer behaviors shifting in regard to holiday shopping? And are there any, major winners or losers emerging? And so the category that we're looking at today are these shopping, these retailers, these location or traditionally location based retailers. And what we're seeing is that TJ Maxx is kind of emerging as a laggard. Jenny mentioned that, consumers are doing a lot of one-stop shopping, that you would expect to see something like a Target be, successful in this time. And we certainly see that when you look at a chart of TJ Maxx and many other location-based peers. And so what we see is that in the big picture, companies that have a digital presence or they have some type of omni-channel offering. So maybe you order online and you pick it up in stores. Maybe it's not necessarily only delivery, but there is some type of a digital mix. These are the companies that are really excelling. On the flip side, the companies like the TJ Maxx and your traditional mall-based retailers, they're really struggling. And so I think that this is reflected in foot traffic data. Another interesting point is that we're seeing a significant pull forward effect. So we're listening for consumers talking about being completely done with their holiday shopping. And we saw this number start to tick up in November. And we actually saw overall in the month of November, mentions of people saying they're already done with holiday shopping increase 36% year over year. So that's pretty significant. So this gives us an idea that, not only were mentions lower on the traditional Black Friday weekend, but, consumers are already getting their holiday shopping done. And TJ Maxx, you can see that in the month of November, down 24% year over year. That's not necessarily the position that you want to be in, especially as shares approach all-time highs, like you noticed. So this is kind of one of those scenarios where I think a bit of divergence is starting to set up, and that's why we wanted to hit on it today.
All right, Megan, your purchase intent chart that you put up during your presentation is striking in the numbers that are put up. But here's my question as a father of five, okay? If I go to Walmart or Target or Kohl's or any of these places and try to buy my children a Christmas gift, they'll disown me. They won't show up for Christmas if I tell them that I bought their Christmas gift at Walmart. They won't come over to get it. And they'll cancel my gift, frankly. So I look at these stores, where can I buy Christmas gifts that will be legitimate Christmas gifts? And I have a very tough time going to any of these stores that are showing these big numbers. But the higher quality stores like JW Nordstrom and Macy's and TJX, those are the stores that maybe I have a chance to go shop at. But they're the opposite. So again, this is very difficult for me to get a handle on, and it may show a little bit of my naivete where it comes to shopping, but I don't get it. I just don't get it. I don't know. Help me.
One thing that's really interesting, especially for Kohl's and Best Buy, we were really surprised to see the significant growth in those names year over year. And what's driving that is a lot of electronic purchases and a lot of gaming purchases. Yes. You can actually buy a lot of these consoles and a lot of these games that are flying off shelves at Kohl's, at Best Buy. A lot of this you can do online, so you don't even have to go to the store. So technically, your kids probably wouldn't even know that maybe you got their favorite game at Walmart, but that's what you ordered it from. And that's what's really driving mentions, whereas TJ Maxx doesn't necessarily have that. I think another point that you guys kind of touched on in regard to what's driving TJ Maxx's success, especially last quarter, was home goods. This trend and the shift to home reno is definitely something that we were watching last quarter. When we look at purchase and intent mentions for home goods, last quarter we had them up 13% year over year. That's pretty in line with what the company actually reported. Now, in the current quarter, those mentions are pacing down 9% year over year. So that's a huge shift. And you can kind of see that decline right there on the chart that you were just looking at. That green line, those were purchase intent mentions, and you can see them kind of slumping off into the holiday season where we'd expect to see more of a ramp up. So this is just, whenever you look on the far right of that chart, it kind of looks like a Pac-Man, or I call it the Pac-Man chart. That's whenever you start to see that divergence. And so that's whenever, we're starting to see a more bearish signal for TJ Maxx build, especially when you see weakness in the specific brand that was able to help propel them to success last quarter. So, we're only about a month into this quarter. We still got some time. We'll certainly be watching to see if consumers, ramp up into the holiday season. Maybe they stop by TJ Maxx and do some last minute shopping. There's still time for that to happen. But right now, especially considering the pull forward effect that we've noted, that a lot of consumers have, already done their holiday shopping, it's definitely more concerning as the stock pushes all-time highs.